Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, in the present class, now I am going to discuss the topic Gauss law application to volume charge distribution. Here we will see the two cases. One is uniformly charged conducting sphere. The second one, uniformly charged non-conducting spheres. So these two are the applications for volume charge distribution. The first one, uniformly charged conducting sphere or spherical shell. Spherical shell. So for these two, both cases, the concept is the same. The formulas are also same, right? I think you are all see the looking this figure. In this figure, so this brown color, the brown colors is the uniformly charged conducting sphere, right? So this is uniformly charged with the charge Q and the surface charge density sigma, volume charge density rho. Okay. Conducting sphere ని మీరు చార్జ్ చేస్తే చార్జ్ దాని సర్ఫేస్ మీదనే ఫామ్ అవుతుందండి. ఇన్సైడ్ ద కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్ చార్జ్ ఫామ్ కాదు. So what I am saying, charge will be distributed only over on the surface only. Charge will not distribute inside the conducting sphere. So the charge inside the conducting sphere is zero. Hence, electric field strength at every point inside of the conducting sphere is zero. E equal to 0 I have written here. So we'll discuss very clearly in detail. No, don't bother about that. First, I am explaining the figures. This is one thing. Number two. So what is our aim? We have to find the electric field strength at three different points. Point P1, point P2, point P3. It is external point. P2 is on the surface, right? The point P3 is internal point. Okay, internal point. That is the point inside of the conducting sphere. ఇక్కడ మీకు చూపించినటువంటి ఇక్కడ బ్రౌన్ కలర్ ఏమో యూనిఫామ్లీ చార్జ్డ్ కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్ సార్. ఇది యాక్చువల్గా ఇక్కడ మీ చార్జ్ సర్ఫేస్ మీదనే చూపించాను. ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ 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 అని, లోపల చార్జ్ ప్లస్ ఎక్కడ పెట్టలే, అంటే సర్ఫేస్ మీదనే చార్జ్ ఉంటుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ పాయింట్ 1. ఓకే, లోపల ఈక్వల్ టు 0 ఎందుకనంటే లోపల ఎక్కడ కూడా చార్జ్ ఉండదు కాబట్టి ఫీల్డ్ స్ట్రెంత్ అట్ ఎవ్రీ పాయింట్ 0 ఉంటుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ సెకండ్ పాయింట్. So we have to obtain the expression for electric field strength at the external point P1, right? To find the electric field strength at the point P1, I assume a spherical Gaussian surface. ఇక్కడ yellow color లో ఉన్నది spherical Gaussian surface, that is concentric sphere sir. అంటే ఈ మూడిటికి ఒకటే సెంటర్ ఓనే. ఇక్కడ point P1 lies on that Gaussian surface, right? At that point, again I assume a small surface area element. This is the ds. ఇక్కడ రాసాను చూడండి. So what is the direction of area vector? Small area is a vector quantity, I told you. The direction of area vector is always perpendicular to that area. Perpendicular to the small area element. అంటే plane కి perpendicular గా outward గా ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ అదే చూపించాను. So area vector ds bar direction is perpendicular to this small area in this direction. But electric field strength is always normally outwards, radially outwards ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఈ బ్లూ కలర్ లైన్స్ చూపించాను నేను. ఏ డైరెక్షన్ లోనైనా ఎలక్ట్రిక్ లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫోర్స్ ఇట్లా బయటకు వెళ్ళే డైరెక్షన్ లో ఉంటాయి, రేడియల్లీ అవుట్వర్డ్స్. యాక్చువల్ గా మరి లోపల చార్జ్ ఉందా సార్? లోపల చార్జ్ లేదు. కానీ ఇక్కడ సర్ఫేస్ నుంచి బయటికి మాత్రం లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫోర్స్ నార్మల్ గా ఇట్లా బయటకు వెళ్తాయి. ఎలక్ట్రిక్ లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫోర్స్ at every point normally to the surface, perpendicular to the surface ఉంటుంది. సర్ఫేస్ కి పర్పెండిక్యులర్ గా బయటకు వెళ్ళే డైరెక్షన్ లో ఉంటాయి. కానీ ఇవి ఎట్లా ఉంటాయంటే దే అపియర్స్ టు కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సెంటర్, సెంటర్ నుంచి వస్తున్నట్టుగా ఉంటాయి. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు దీని వెనక్కి ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేస్తే ఇక్కడ అన్ని ఓ వద్ద మీట్ అవుతాయి. ఓకే, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద సిమెట్రీ ఆఫ్ చార్జ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్, ఇక్కడ మన స్పియర్ సర్ఫేస్ మొత్తం మీద చార్జ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయి ఉంది కాబట్టి due to that symmetry, at every point on this Gaussian surface is perpendicular to that surface at that point in this direction. Kabatti E bar direction kuda perpendicular to the surface చూపించాను. So what you observed here, ds bar direction towards right, sir, and E bar direction also towards right. Both are in the same direction. What is the angle between E bar and ds bar? 0. So what is the dot product of E bar and ds bar? E bar dot ds bar equal E ds cos 0. ఎందుకు మనకు డాట్ ప్రొడక్ట్ ఫార్ములా ఏంది నాన్న? ఏ బార్ డాట్ బి బార్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఏబి కాస్ తీటా కదా. ఈ బార్ డాట్ డిఎస్ బార్ ఈక్వల్ ఈ డిఎస్ కాస్ తీటా అంటే కాస్ 0. Cos 0 equal to 1 kada. So then you will get E bar dot ds bar equal to E into ds. So E into ds that represents, that gives the flux through the small area element. So ikkada mana ds ane small area తీసుకున్నాం. Normal electric flux through the small area element is EDS. But we have to require the total electric flux through this total entire spherical surface kavala. So that should be integrated. So closed integral E bar dot ds bar gives the total flux through the entire spherical surface. Total electric flux through that entire surface. ఏం చేస్తున్నాను, ఇప్పుడు స్పియర్ మీద స్మాల్ ఏరియా ఎలిమెంట్ తీసుకున్నాను సార్. దాని నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటి ఫ్లక్స్ ఈ బార్ డాట్ డిఎస్ బార్. టోటల్ సర్ఫేస్ నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటి ఎలక్ట్రిక్ ఫ్లక్స్ అంటే దాన్ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయాలి. ఫై ఈక్వల్ టు ఇంటిగ్రల్ డి ఫై. Then integral of E bar dot ds bar, you will get E ds cos 0 equal to integral E ds. But electric field strength at every point on the surface is the same. Chudandi, ikkada E chupichanu, here E chupichanu. I have shown E here, here, here. At every point on the surface, magnitude of the electric field strength is the same. Why? Because every point from the center at the same distance kada. Center nunchi prati point kunna distance same are kada. కాబట్టి magnitude same ఉంటుంది at every point. Only direction is different. Here direction is along this arrow mark. Here the direction is along this arrow. Here the direction is in this direction. Magnitude is same. Only direction is changing. So integral EDS lo you write E outside of the integral. E into integral ds. Integral ds and that is total surface area. The total surface area of the spherical surface and that is surface area of the sphere. What is that? 4 pi r square. Then E into integral ds and you will get E into 4 pi r square. Okay. And finally manaku vachindi enti sir, small element nunchi bayitku vastunna flux d phi equal to E into 4 pi r square vachindi. So this is equation 1. Simple. Etla mana approach avutuna gamaninchandi. But according to the Gauss law statement, that surface integral E bar dot ds bar equal to q by epsilon naught. Kada? Q by epsilon naught. Then equal చేస్తున్నాం మనం. E into 4 pi r square equal to q by epsilon naught. So then E is equal to, you will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by small r square. So therefore at the outside point, it is very clear that field strength is inversely proportional to square of the distance. If you consider the point P2 on the surface, then the distance of the point P2 from the center, how much? That is radius of the conducting sphere, capital R. So simply here R equal to capital R is substitute. Then the formula will become capital E equal 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught small q by capital R square. Okay. Next third one, you consider the point P3 inside of the conducting sphere. Lopala తీసుకున్నాను P3 point. సో P నుంచి నేను P3 నుంచి పోయేటట్టుగా ఒక గాషియన్ సర్ఫేస్ అజ్యూమ్ చేశాను. అనదర్ స్మాల్ స్పియర్. ఇక్కడ మనకు లైట్ గ్రీన్ కలర్ లో ఉన్నటువంటిది. సో దిస్ ఈస్ గాషియన్ సర్ఫేస్. బట్ దెర్ ఇస్ నో చార్జ్ ఇన్సైడ్ ద కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్. సో అప్లైయింగ్ ద గాస్ లా, సర్ఫేస్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ E bar dot ds bar equal to q enclosed by epsilon naught కదా. 1 by epsilon naught times to the charge enclosed within that surface. మరి లోపల ఉన్న చార్జ్ ఎంత అండి? 0. So then you will get 0. Surface integral E bar dot ds bar equal to 0 you are getting. Therefore E equal to 0. Obviously field strength equal to 0. And if the conclusion cheppali sir, outside point తీసుకుంటే we got the expression E equal 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught small q by r square వచ్చింది. On the surface simply substitute small r equal to capital R. Then the formula becomes E equal 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square. Internal point తీసుకుంటే inside of the conducting sphere, since there is no charge, flux 0, electric field strength at every point 0, hence E equal to 0 at every point, then obviously at the center also field strength E equal to 0, right? So this is uh, you can understand in the case of uniformly charged conducting sphere anna spherical shell anna. స్పెరికల్ షెల్ అంటే కంప్లీట్ గా లోపల హాలో ఉంటే స్పెరికల్ షెల్స్. మామూలుగా రబ్బర్ బాల్ ఉంటుంది కదా, లోపల కంప్లీట్ ఎంటీ స్పేస్ ఉంది అనుకోండి, అది స్పెరికల్ షెల్. దాన్ని ఛార్జ్ చేసినా దాని సర్ఫేస్ మీదనే ఛార్జ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయి ఉంటుంది. లేదా మీరు ఒక కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్ అంటే చెప్పాను, వాట్ ఆర్ ద గుడ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ కండక్టర్స్? ఆల్ ద మెటల్స్ ఆర్ బెస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ గుడ్ కండక్టర్స్. యూ టేక్ కాపర్ స్పియర్ ఆర్ యూ టేక్ అల్యూమినియం స్పియర్, ఐరన్ స్పియర్, వాట్ ఎవర్, ఏదైనా ఒక మెటల్ స్పియర్ తీసుకోండి. సో దాన్ని మీరు చార్జ్ చేస్తే చార్జ్ అనేది దాని సర్ఫేస్ మీదనే రిసైడ్ అయి ఉంటుంది, లోపల చార్జ్ ఉండదు. అట్లాగే లోపల హాలోగా ఉన్న స్పియర్ని మీరు రీఛార్జ్ చేసినా కూడా చార్జ్ విల్ రిసైడ్ ఓన్లీ ఆన్ ఇట్ సర్ఫేస్ ఓన్లీ. దెర్ ఇస్ నో చార్జ్ ఇన్సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ద కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్ ఆర్ స్పెరికల్ షెల్. సో హియర్ 3 పాయింట్స్ మనం మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. ఎక్స్టర్నల్ పాయింట్ 1/4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. On the surface 1/4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square. This is maximum value. Inside point at any point inside the conducting sphere, E at every point equals to 0. Therefore, so field strength exists maximum at the surface, and as we move from surface to the external point, with increasing the distance, E decreases according to this relation. E inversely proportional to square of the distance. Okay. So that will be here మన గ్రాఫ్ మనం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయొచ్చు, చూద్దాం సార్. You see here, so this is the figure what we explained now, right? Right, sir. So E into 4 pi r square. The total flux is equal to E into ds, that equal E into 4 pi r square. According to the Gauss law, surface integral E bar dot ds equal to q by epsilon naught. So this value substituted here, right? Then what you get? E into 4 pi r square is equals to q by epsilon naught. From this we are writing E as the subject. E equal 1/4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Here, if sigma is the surface charge density, sigma equal to total charge by total area, sigma equal to q by 4 pi r square. So from that you can write, so how we write? Q equal to 4 pi r square into sigma. Substituting here, you will get this one, E bar equal to sigma by epsilon naught capital R square by small r square into r cap. R sigma by epsilon naught into capital R square by small r cube r bar. If you want to write here r cube, you should write r bar here. Ikkada r square raste r cap rayali. Idi vector function. Suppose if you want to express the only magnitude, modulus E bar equal sigma by epsilon naught capital R square by r cube into modulus r bar r. One r cancel, then sigma by epsilon naught capital R square by small r square avutundi. Okay na? Ide man indaka maatladedi. Outside of the point E, outside 1/4 pi epsilon naught q by r square, sir. So now the next one. Look, sir. So if the point P considered on the surface, simply we substituted small r equal to capital R, then formula 1/4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square. But q by 4 pi r square is surface charge density sigma. So putting that, then you will get E equal to sigma by epsilon naught. So therefore, if you want to express this in vector form, E bar is equal sigma by epsilon naught into n cap. So this is the expression for electric field strength on the surface of uniformly charged conducting sphere, sir. Okay. Now, the next internal point. If the point P is considered internal point as the internal point or inside of the conducting sphere, so same concept we are writing E bar dot ds bar equal to EDS, that equal E into 4 pi r square. So this is common. But here there is no charge inside the conducting sphere. That is Q enclosed is 0. Q equal to 0, by substituting that, you will get surface integral E bar dot ds equal to 0. That means flux is equal to 0. Therefore, electric field strength at every point inside of the conducting sphere is 0. So that is written here, sir. So E is equal to 0 at every point inside of the conducting sphere. Okay. So this is about uniformly charged conducting sphere or spherical shell. So what is the next concept? So regarding this, the graph is like this. At the center 0, at every point inside the conducting sphere 0, only the field strength exists on the surface and outside of the point. On the surface, it is maximum value. That value is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square, right? So then, as we are moving to the external point, with increasing the distance, the E is decreasing. You can observe from this figure, sir. Here E is decreasing. So the graph is rectangular hyperbola we are getting. Okay. Ikkada E inversely proportional to square of the distance. So that will be, you can understand graphically. Okay, sir. Let us go for next concept, uniformly charged non-conducting sphere. Here you try to understand this figure. This is uniformly charged non-conducting sphere of radius capital R. The charge Q is distributed, the Q is charge distributed over the sphere. Capital R is from O to P to Sun. Now again, we are considering the 3 points, external point P1, the point on the surface P2, and internal point P3. Same case. In the ketla chesam ade paddhatilo. Outside point with the field strength, on the surface, internal point. 3 cases lo manamu electric field strength ki formula ni obtain cheyali. Okay na? So now, to calculate the field strength at the point P1, you suppose that a spherical Gaussian surface which is passing through this point P1. So now P1 lies on this surface. At that point, again you assume a small surface area element ds bar. So what is the direction of ds bar? The direction of ds bar is always, since it is a vector, it is perpendicular to this surface in this direction. Okay. But what is the direction of electric field strength? Electric field strength direction is always normally outwards in this direction at every point. You take any point, normally outwards at every point is perpendicular to the surface like this. So ikkada yellow line emo E bar direction, red line ds bar direction. Here also E bar ds bar in the same direction. Therefore, flux through the small element E bar dot ds bar equal to EDS cos 0. You will get E into ds. This is d phi. Electric flux through small element d phi equal to, we are getting E into ds. Okay. So, but we require the total normal flux through the entire spherical surface. Bite unnatuvanti dotted line undi kada, aa big sphere nunchi bayatku vacche total flux kavali. So ante మనం should integrate. So phi is equal integral of d phi, that equal integral of EDS, E constant at every point in the Japan. Because all points on the spherical surface are at equal distance, that equal to small r, then field strength at every point on the surface is constant in magnitude. Only the direction is changing. Only direction is changing. Therefore, integral of EDS, you write E outside, E into integral of ds. So that is, I will explain here. Let us go for derivation. Yes, sir. D phi equal to E into ds. The total flux is equal integral d phi equal to integral EDS. Since E is constant, it is written outside of the integral of ds. Integral of ds gives what? The total surface area of the Gaussian surface. That is 4 pi r square. So E into 4 pi r square, say equation 1. But according to the Gauss law statement, this total flux should be equal to 1 by epsilon naught times to the net charge enclosed by that surface. So, but what is the charge enclosed by that surface? That is charge resided on the sphere. How much that is? Q. Q by epsilon naught. Okay. So, from this you write E as the subject. Then E is equal to, what is that? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. The field strength at any external point 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. So from this expression, you can observe that E inversely proportional to R square. So field strength decreasing with increasing of the distance for the external point. Okay. Now, if you want to find the electric field strength on the surface of the conducting sphere, what is that? You see here. Simply substitute small r equal to capital R, sir. Concept is same explanation. Assume the small area element ds. ds bar direction is perpendicular to this one. Electric field strength direction also in the same direction. And flux through the small element E bar dot ds bar, that equal to EDS. Then the total flux through this spherical surface integrating that you will get. So simply in the previous formula you substitute small r equal to capital R. Yet the concept is same, only the distance is different. Every point on the conducting sphere, every point on the non-conducting spherical surface is small r equal to capital R. Then you will get the expression E is equal 4 pi epsilon naught Q by capital R square. It is constant at every point on the surface. On that non-conducting sphere, at every point field strength is constant in magnitude. Only the direction is changing. The direction is normal to the surface, but it's in different direction. Okay. Now, so what about the internal point in this case? So this is only the difference to the previous application and here, sir. If you consider the point P3 as internal point, which is at the distance R1 from the center, right? Here the charge distributed within this sphere is Q1 say. The charge distributed or charge accumulated within this small sphere Q1 anukunam. Okay na? Now, by applying the electric flux concept same, I consider the small area element here. The direction of ds bar is like this. The direction of electric field strength also normal to that surface. Okay. So then the flux through the small element, how much? Same, d phi equal to E into ds. Then the total flux through this small sphere, the total flux through the entire small internal spherical surface, by integrating that we are getting E into integral ds. But according to the Gauss law, that should be equal to Q1 by epsilon naught. So what is the ds, integral ds? Integral ds gives the surface area of this internal sphere. That is how much, sir? 4 pi r1 square. Why? Here radius is r1. Therefore, the surface area of this sphere will be 4 pi r1 square. Hence, integral ds is equal. I am substituting E into 4 pi r1 square equal to Q1 by epsilon naught. But charge Q is equal to volume charge density into volume. Why? Because the volume charge density is defined as charge per unit volume. Okay. Rho equal to charge by its volume. What is the charge in this sphere? Q1 I am saying, right? So what we consider the charge in this small sphere Q1 by its volume, how much? The volume of the sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube. Then Q1 equal to rho into 4 by 3 pi r1 cube. So here Q1 equal to this value substituted, rho into 4 by 3 pi r1 cube divided by epsilon naught. Okay. So left side 4 pi, right side 4 pi cancel, r1 square cancel, only r1 left right side. Then you will get this expression E inside the electric field strength at internal point the electric field strength at any internal point formula. Finally, we got this one. rho by 3 epsilon naught into R1. Where epsilon naught, you know, that is permittivity of free space. Of course, its value 8.86 into 10 power minus 11. Rho is constant, volume charge density. Why it is constant? So initially I started my explanation that it is uniformly charged non-conducting sphere. Uniformly charged is nothing but at every point rho is constant. At every point rho is constant is nothing but volume per unit volume at every point is constant. Here rho is constant, epsilon naught is constant. Then E inside depends upon what? R1. E how it relates with R1? E directly proportional to R1. Therefore field strength inside at any point is directly proportional to R1. Okay. Now we will explain this concept graphically, right? So with this explanation, by keeping all these points in your mind, simply you can understand this figure, sir. Here the graph is drawn between electric field strength versus, what is that? Electric field strength versus the distance. So here distance is taken on x-axis like this, and the field strength is taken on y-axis like this, right? At the center, R1 equal to 0. In the previous explanation, what I said, field strength at any point inside of the sphere, rho R1 by 3 epsilon naught. If you consider the point at the center, then R1 equal to how much? 0. Then field strength at that point, how much? 0. So E equal to 0 at the center of the non-conducting sphere. As we move from center to the surface, then E directly proportional to R1. Here field strength increasing linearly. So field strength is directly proportional to distance of the point up to the surface point. At the surface, the field strength is maximum. That value is constant every point on the surface, right? Then for external point, here if you observe the graph, it is very clear E is decreasing such that E inversely proportional to square of the distance. Okay, so at the center of the non-conducting sphere, E equal to 0. On the surface, E maximum, that value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square. For external point, E decreases with increasing of the distance. According to this relation, E inversely proportional to R square, right? So here, inside point from center to the surface, E increases linearly with the distance. So this is, you can understand from this graph, sir. Okay. So in this explanation, so what I explained, so this will be, again, I will show you in another figure. The same concept. Look, sir, the same figure, you can understand simply. If you understand this figure, you can write the total question answer, sir. Simply this here, this brinjal color is the inner sphere. This yellow color is the uniformly charged non-conducting sphere. The red color sphere is, that is the outside Gaussian surface. Here I consider 3 points. This is the point, external point. Here the point on the surface. Here the point, this is internal point. Okay. For external point P1, so I assume a red color Gaussian surface. On the surface, yellow color Gaussian surface, that is actual non-conducting sphere. For internal point, again, I assume brinjal color, this Gaussian surface. You take any point, either P1 or P2 or P3, whatever it is. If you consider small area element ds bar direction is perpendicular to the surface always, and electric field strength is directed with the blue color line, E bar also in the same direction. Here E bar, ds bar are the same direction. Then flux through this small element, how much, sir? E into ds, that is written here. Then electric flux through this entire surface, we integrated. So finally, what expression we got? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught small q by r square. So for the point P2 on the surface, simply small r equal to capital R is substitute. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square. For the point P3 inside, here I constructed a spherical Gaussian surface as O as the center, concentric sphere. Here also you consider the small area element ds, same concept, E bar, ds bar, same direction, flux through small area element, E into ds, flux through the small total entire surface, we have to integrate. Closed integral E bar dot ds that equal EDS, will get E into 4 pi R square. That equal to, according to the Gauss law, we are equating to the Q1 by epsilon. What is only the difference between the conducting sphere, non-conducting sphere ఏంటంటే కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్ కి లోపల ఫీల్డ్ జీరో, ఫర్ నాన్ కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్ కి లోపల కూడా చార్జ్ అనేది ఓవరాల్ వాల్యూమ్ అంతా డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయి ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, ఇన్ ద కేస్ ఆఫ్ నాన్ కండక్టింగ్ స్పియర్, charge not only distributed over the surface, it is also distributed throughout the volume. లోపల at every point కూడా charge distribute అయి ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి లోపల పాయింట్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇంటర్నల్ పాయింట్ ఈ స్పియర్ లోపల ఉన్న చార్జే మనం కన్సిడర్ చేయాలి. సో దట్ ఈస్ q1 by epsilon naught, but rho equal to q1 by 4 by 3 pi r1 cube. So from that q value substituted. So then we got the formula E inside equal rho r1 by 3 epsilon naught. Since there epsilon naught rho constant, E directly proportional to r1 sir. So concept here student, at the center field strength is 0. As we move from center to the surface of the non-conducting sphere, E increases with increasing of the distance up to here, and after that, beyond that, as we move further, E decreases inversely proportional to r square. So the graph will be at the center 0. From center to the surface, it is increasing linearly up to the surface. At the surface, E is maximum. So beyond that, E is decreasing. So therefore, we are getting the rectangular hyperbola curve. We are getting the curve E decreasing with increasing of the distance with E inversely proportional to r square. And one more point too, on the surface of any Gaussian surface, electric field strength at every point is constant in magnitude. The direction is perpendicular to the surface. So this is about finding the electric field strength. Electric field strength in the case of volume charge distribution, there we have seen the two cases. The first one, what is that? Uniformly charged conducting sphere or spherical shell. The second case, uniformly charged non-conducting sphere. That is nothing but insulating sphere. You take a glass sphere, ఒక గ్లాస్ తో చేసినటువంటి స్పియర్ ని అజ్యూమ్ చేసాం అనుకోండి సార్, రబ్బర్ స్పియర్, ప్లాస్టిక్ స్పియర్, దాన్ని చార్జ్ చేస్తే నీకు సర్ఫేస్ మీదనే కాదు లోపల కూడా త్రూఅవుట్ ద వాల్యూమ్ చార్జ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయి ఉంటుంది. అదే మెటాలిక్ స్పియర్స్ ని కనుక మీరు చార్జ్ చేస్తే ఓన్లీ సర్ఫేస్ మీదనే ఉంటుంది. స్పెరికల్ షెల్ ని, కండక్టింగ్ స్పెరికల్ షెల్ ని చార్జ్ చేసిన the charge will reside only on surface. Okay, very important question in examination point of view. Among these two questions, one question will be expected, sir. Obtain the expression for electric field strength in the case of uniformly charged conducting sphere, you may ask, or non-conducting sphere. Okay, right. So this is about that one. Then if you want any doubts, you can ask, sir. Follow, any doubts? Last 1 minute left.